Cheers and enjoy this. Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome wherever you are once again to the channel with me, Disco, coming at you once again from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. Well, I'm still in a purple patch of calling the Disco Arms. Apologies for once again the late start. It's been a terrible day. Well, it's not been that bad today. It's just been shit, really. And yeah, I'm running a bit late, and I don't know about what it's like where you are, but around here it feels like I'm in the middle of a war zone. I know I shouldn't joke about that in the current political climate, but it is what it is. There's lots of noise going on. The noise itself doesn't particularly bother me, loud bangs, but I know it bothers other people, and certainly dogs, cats, pets, etc. So it is a tad annoying. I don't know whether it will come through on the stream, and as I've said that, it will stop. So maybe it'll wind down until like a 10 o'clock shut off or something. I don't know. But walking home earlier, I was a little bit short of breath, a lot of cordite in the air. So yeah, I was a little bit annoyed, and I thought, well, I do need a beer, and I put the stream up anyway. So I thought, let's crack on, let's go on. And greetings to you, Mr. Wilson, as ever. Thanks for popping in. Hope you had a great weekend. And if you've got a cheeky Monday night beer, no problems. If not, of course, as always. A lot there early. Yeah, fair play. I think it's all about, and it's like fair play. Yeah, I'm no longer that interested in fireworks and stuff. It's like, yeah, great, pretty lights, loud bangs. Seen it all before. Other things to be doing, to be fair, including YouTube, including having a beer. So let's dive straight into beer number one, please. And no particular theme for today as such. I've blatantly cheated and used the same theme from last week because I had a good look through the beers today. And as always, far too many beers in the stash. Didn't really know which ones to put together. I've got lots of stuff, and I'm still looking at buying more this week for themes, for ideas. So anyway, I went with facing up to craft beer again. Got another 3 beers with. Yep, there you go. That's how terrible the day has been. Completely forgot about the can balance, despite Mr. Wilson reminding me. Thank you very much indeed, as always. But let's do the photo. Yeah, so first one up. Let's do the banner. See, this is how bad today's going. Just nothing's just quite going right. Do you know what I mean? Right, so we're going up to the northeast to start with, northeast of the country near Hadrian's Wall up in Northumberland. Twice Brewed Brewco. This is Superdelic IPA at 6.5%. Pours out nicely into the glass. Lovely fluffy head development going on there. Quite light in colour, but looks nice and hazy. So let's get that in the photograph and crack on with a beer or 3. Yeah, I hope you're all having a beer as well. No problems if not. Do let me know what you're drinking, what's in your glass this evening. Also, let me know if you're anything good over the weekend, because I always forget to ask about that. I hope you've all had a great weekend, beer-wise or non-beer-wise. Oh, nice, actually. Forecasters for once. Well done. Jolly good. First go. I'm getting good at this. Well, so he says modestly. So yeah, 6.5% Superdelic IPA. Superdelic, I believe, is a hop, if I remember rightly, but not one I know about at all that much. So let's have a little sniff. Let's see what we get, shall we? Photographs well, looks good in the glass. Like I say, nice and hazy, kind of light yellowy orange in colour. Good head development, nice and fluffy. Looks like it's sticking around as well. Yeah, well, smells like an IPA. Put it in the Czech beer glass for no apparent reason. I just like the shape, as you obviously all know, and we'll see coming up. Yeah, it smells like an IPA. Smells like a brewery. It's got that kind of classic kind of light malt and sort of fruitiness. Not too much grapefruit, but that's what I say when it smells like a brewery. It's that kind of grapefruity. Once you take the lid off a fermenter or a hoppy IPA, it's there. 6.5%, so good strength. Let's get down and see how much grapefruit we can chuck down my tonsils. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Wow, tangy is the first thing I think. A little bit of sherbety on the tongue. There's a sparkle there. I keep getting told off for saying grapefruit, but if that's what Superdelic is, then I'm sort of mid on it really. Great beer, nicely produced, looks good. But yeah, I'm getting a sort of slightly spicy, slightly peppery, sweet grapefruit, bit of melon maybe, just rounded it out. But yes, it's not harsh and earthy grapefruit. It's definitely kind of spicy, slightly savoury grapefruit going on. I used the expression a while back on a pineapple beer, like grilled pineapple. You've got this kind of caramelization. It's like kind of savouriness, and this is like a slice of grapefruit on the barbecue in my best attempts at describing it. Simo, greetings, welcome along. I hope you had a great weekend. I think I was bouncing around the comments on Simo's stream on Saturday night, but it'd been a long day. I had a few beers. I don't really remember. As the internet went off. Yeah, I remember. That's part of why today has been really very, very average, if not a little bit shit. Because yeah, internet problems this morning. No idea what's going on. A few too, but you or me, or both. It is what it is. It's a Saturday, fair play. I can't argue. I had a few. Well, I started quite late because I took it fairly easy at work. Had a few after, obviously, and then got back here and had a big. I think I was on a 10% stout, wasn't I? Yeah. Is that the one? Yeah, Caribbean Meta Custard, 11%. I think that's what I was on. But yeah, and then I kind of just fell asleep really after that. Solid beer. This would please most IPA fans, I think. There's definitely plenty to it. Plenty of, like, say, fruitiness, kind of slightly spicy pepperiness, and yeah, there's a little bit of pineapple cubes going on the back end. It's really thick, juicy kind of lilt type thing. Twice brewed. Yeah, I've had a couple of orders out of them. This is the first one out of the latest order that I've actually reviewed, because I got 12 in, purely because if you've ever seen Twice Brewed's website, they just churn out the beers. And I mean, sometimes when that happens, they're just sort of churning them out for the sake of it, but they do seem to love the beers. Have something unusual. They've got a good, like, core range of kind of regular beers, hazy IPAs, as well as some adjuncty stuff and a few bitters and that. But they've also got like a kind of, they sit oddly between that traditional like trad brewer and craft, because they've got a lot of bottles as well. So they've got their regular beer, which is one I've featured several times, done some, if I can remember, I'll put that up there, with the tree at Sycamore Gap, the sycamore tree. So that's kind of a logo, become a bit more so since the tree got knocked down. They've got a lager called Sycamore Gap, and they've also got a pale ale, both in bottle and in can. So when I went on their website, and the only reason I went on the website, I sort of avoided it because it's too much stuff. I know I'm going to spend too much money and not have enough beers, not have enough time to drink the beers. Like I say, I've got 12 box plus the 601. I want 6 cans of the stuff, the pink sour, and I haven't got around to doing that justice yet with a video. Apologies, Twice Brewed. I will get there eventually, hopefully. But yeah, this is part of why today's been a bit naff. I tried to do 2 videos today, didn't get as far as opening the cans, because I don't know, just wasn't feeling it a little bit. And this is part of what I was saying on Thursday about facing up to craft beer. You know, just having to do this talking to the camera on your own. I feel such a lemon. I do. I feel such a twat until it goes well. And sometimes when it just goes a bit average, or sometimes the beer's a bit, that's all right, or it's not even my thing, too much grapefruit. And I find myself saying the same old things about grapefruit. And I can hear myself like it's like little two people on my shoulder kind of deal. Like, you've got to say something, so say something, and then you think that's complete bunkum. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know how you guys get on with it, how you guys feel as part of, like, I suppose the whole mental health discussion of doing YouTube. I've never done one of them videos about how hard it is, because it ain't hard. You just either do it or you don't. But sometimes, yeah, I get a bit meh with it. And sometimes I just run out of things to say. As I've always said, it's not about me, it's about the beer. So I maybe just need to do some smaller. Maybe I need to do some shorts and just open it and say the 4 things about the beer. Don't know. And also, by the time I get around to doing all the beers I buy, they've run out on the web shop. They've all sold out, you know, because they're all small to medium batches. So they sell through them. And by the time I get to do them, I don't want to describe myself as an influencer, because I'm not, but I don't get to influence anybody, because I'm always doing beers that aren't necessarily, not always, aren't necessarily available by the time I get around to doing them. Even like all that hype stuff, I don't rush out to supermarkets pretty much. I leave that to everybody else that does. I've got no problem with it. You do you, do you know what I mean? I just, yeah. There's so many beers, and all the supermarket stuff I still do. I still buy them sometimes. I'm just less interested in those kind of breweries. That's not even the case, because you get a lot of local stuff in local supermarkets. You get a lot of smaller breweries that are taking the chance on the supermarket, and the beer's still decent enough, you know. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes you think, why do I bother? I think I know why I bother, because I keep using the hashtag "these things amuse me," and that's a general line. It's never going to get anywhere as a hashtag, but it's, yeah, I bother because I bought all these beers, and I could just sit and drink them and not say anything, but I know as soon as I do that, there'll be a beer. I'm like, I really want to tell people about it. So actually, I like talking about beer and finding new things. And I think if there's at least one other person, and he's generally proved that there is at least 1 or 2 other people that are kind of interested in me yapping on about beer, as everybody else. So I'll keep sort of bothering, just because it's all about the beer, not about me. So, but yeah, sometimes it gets a bit, shall I bother? You know, especially like sometimes, like I don't generally bother to do on a weekend, because everybody else is doing stuff on the weekend, or I'm busy and stuff. Sometimes, like on Saturday, I'll get back, see other people streaming, and I might jump on the panel. Or generally, I'll just crack a beer and chat away in the comments, you know, which is still good, because it still like helps every other channel out. It's still traffic on the stream, so that's fine. So yeah. Also, like, doing this is actually the first beer I've had today, which wasn't meant to be. I was going to have a couple earlier, like I say. So I often think doing a beer dry, as it were, is a different experience to if I've done this having had 2 or 3. So I'd like to mix it up, and then it doesn't always work like that. So, but this beer particularly, it's a decent solid IPA. It's got a proper chunky body to it, nice and fruitiness, quite soft. There's a bit of oat in there, I think. And then that's kind of, I think, why I bother. Get back to the beers. It's like that's why I do it. I order a beer. Usually, I'd say it's about 85-90%. I order a beer because I think I'm going to enjoy it. You know, that's why I don't rush out to all the hype beers, because I don't think I'm enjoying them. You know, your Tracks and your Cloudwaters and your Dayers and your whatevers. I order beer generally, usually by beer style, usually by beer name, because I think I'm going to enjoy it, or I can put it in a theme. Beers like this, oh, hang on. Oh, I've got it completely wrong. I thought it didn't have a name. Oh, what an idiot. The beer's actually called Season of the Witch. I just thought that was a design. What an idiot. See, that's what annoys me. That's when I think I can't be bothered, because I keep making elementary errors like that. And I get really easily annoyed about that sort of thing. So let's change that just for thingy's sake. I get annoyed at myself. Season. I would have left that for a saison and called it Saison of the Witch, but there you go. I still messed that up. 6.5% Superdelic IPA. There we go. Do you know what? If I thought about it properly, I would have done another beer and left it for Halloween. I've got a lot of kind of, like I say, this face sort of theme that I'm doing. There's a lot of skeletons and supposedly scary faces going around on some of the cans I've got, purely accidentally. So yeah, I should have saved it for that. Let's say it is. You know, I'm not going to get a chance to do much Halloweeny stuff. I haven't got any pumpkin beers. I'm looking at getting pumpkin beers. Well, that's something for next week, isn't it? Really, Halloween's next Friday. I'll be working. We've got an event on up the brewery, Halloween themed event. So yeah, I'll be working next Friday, so I won't get to do any Halloweeny stuff particularly. But yeah, I should have saved it for then, shouldn't I? See, that's what annoys me. Things like that. I see all these details and yet see none of the details sometimes. But there you go. Well spotted. Let's have a look at the beer then. It's in date. I know that because I only bought it recently. Yeah, March 2026. So I bought this a month before last because I won 6 cans and a film called The Stuff. Yeah, I haven't really done those winnings justice and apologise. Twice brewed, but it's hazy IPA showcasing the Superdelic hop from New Zealand. An oat and wheat heavy malt base gives way to flavours of candied berries, tropical fruit, and a citrus zing. So I guess that candied berries is sort of like what I'm saying about the kind of barbecued pineapple, barbecued grapefruit kind of note. I'm coming around to it, you know, quite like New Zealand hops, but sometimes they do go a bit, they veer off the tropical. I think New Zealand hops have got quite a lot of tropicality to it. Southern hemisphere, sunshine and rain and stuff. I think they grow quite fruity and stuff. So yeah, I think I say it's quite light on the grapefruit, but it is there kind of back end a little bit. There's that little zing. But yeah, it feels quite slightly peppery, slightly herby, a bit savoury, I guess. But I should look at more single hop beers like this, really, because I don't really know a lot of my hops. Again, it's in my head that everything's grapefruit for some reason. It doesn't feel like a massive difference to say Motueka. It's all about that there or thereabouts, different levels of, I guess, alpha acids or whatever they are. Gives it a slightly more tropical than grapefruit, but definitely a bunch of juiciness in there. Touch of mango, touch of pineapple. Yeah, with some grapefruit edges. Decent beer, decent, well-made beer. Look at the lacing on the glass. The head retention is fantastic. Keeps a nice sheen of bubbly, slightly soapy, but bubbly head nonetheless. The oats in there doing all the works to get nice, smooth beer going on. And yeah, fairly drinkable, quite smashable. I'm going back to find some complexity of flavours. So it's not too bad. Just looking at Halloween inspired beers on Trembling, there's not an awful lot. No, I've got something in the basket of Trembling Madness at the moment with, well, I've got pumpkin beers, but that's because it's called Pilgrim. I'm still thinking about that one. But it generally ends up being, I mean, Halloween, what you do, it's only going to be pumpkin and something else, isn't it? Maybe something bright red for a bit of blood and stuff like that. It's kind of ad nauseum, really, on repeat. Beardy, greetings. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you had a great weekend. And maybe you got a beer on for a Monday session. Let us know if you got one on. Hope you're doing all right anyway. Yeah, that's it. By the time we get Halloween out of the way, then it's right into Christmas, isn't it? It's like, bear me a sec. See, Christmas beers, I'm a bit okay on it. I didn't really do a lot on it last year, but you know, you've got all that kind of nice warming spices and kind of cinnamon and all that stuff, and I'm bung up for a bit of that, especially on a stout. I might try and do the Anspach Obdale one again this year, the Pfeffernuss stout. I see that's out. Especially as, like, having already reviewed it, it doesn't matter I've already reviewed it because nobody's going to see that review again anyway, probably. So a new review will be a bit more up to date. It'll probably be the same beer, mind. Evil Dead beers, the Rivington. Yeah, I'll let everybody else have a go at those because I'm still not fussed on Rivington, funnily enough. All good stuff. Let's have a quick look then. I did it last week and it didn't completely destroy the stream as it did before, but let's have a quick look at Twice Brewed. I don't see that many other people talking about them, to be fair, because they've got a fantastic output. So much so that all of the 12 beers I've got, apart from the lagers, are not now on sale. But yeah, so they do a bunch of bottles as well of some of their main beers and some extra stuff. So the porter and the stout and a best bitter, I think, and a pale ale, Sycamore Gap, is on a kind of regular rotation on the bottles, but also some of those are in cans. There's the lager, Sycamore Gap lager in a can. The alcohol-free one, I had the alcohol-free one last month, didn't I, on stream. So actually, this is not the first one off that box because that alcohol-free one was. Again, lovely bit of crazy artwork. Got that dark lager in. Got that toxic juice in, actually, off of that order. Don't quite know when or how I'm going to do that. But yeah, they got a lot of scary stuff, kind of zombies and skeletons on their artwork, all that sort of thing. Love a bit of that. Fuzzy Peach I avoided. Oh yeah, I got that blue raspberry one. Avoided the watermelon. These ones are quite funny. Orange soda sour and lemon soda sour. I'm not sure about that, but I'm not going to rush back for those. I mean, I love that cease and desist waiting to happen on that artwork. A double IPA there called Deadite. See, there's a lot of like bubblegum sour, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Yeah, there's a lot of horror related artwork going on there. Oh, that one. Yeah, see, that interests me. Dandelion and Burdock sour. I'm not sure about it being a sour, but yeah, they've actually got a Halloween box. So if you're looking for Halloween stuff, that's the one. Oh, they've got some food. They've got some snack food as well. Well, there you go. 2, 4, 6, 8. No, 8 4s, 32. A couple of glasses and some tat and some snacks. That's not a bad deal, to be honest. There's double IPAs in there as well. 6% EPA. So it's not terrible. It's just based around the artwork, I guess, isn't it? Where's the snack food? Let's have a look at the snacks because, you know. Okay, so these are not their own. These are the ones they've got in. Oh, then, now what do they remind you of? So the pretzel pieces. Actually, that's a pretty good deal. £2 a bag, and I do like those honey mustard pretzel pieces. If I get around to doing another order, I'll stay clear of the jalapenos. The cheese might be all right. Might put a few of those on actually. That's a good beer tasting, beer pairing waiting to happen, I think. But yeah, they do. I don't do any mini casks. But yeah, their cans I find them really inviting. I really want to do all those Juno, the Czech lagers that they do. I've had one or two, but not all of them together. I think there's about 5 in total. So yeah, there we are. Where have you gone? There we are. Yeah, so that's Twice Brewed. I love what they do. I love their beers. A little bit mad, but it ranges from the regular to the little bit mad. So it's a good spread. Yes, you have. I've done Twice Brewed twice before. But yeah, and the mainstream, and they do their own thing on Instagram, but I don't know. I don't see a lot of people. I don't know, maybe because there's such a prolific output, but then a lot of those other, hazy pale ale breweries have got quite a prolific rotation. Take a Phantom, for example, prolific rotation of hazy pales and the occasional one other, whereas Twice Brewed have got quite a big range, I think. Wait for Wednesday, fair play. Yeah, I'm only having a beer today because, well, essentially it's my day off. I haven't got going to work Monday and Tuesday, although I might pop up there tomorrow for other business. So yeah, I sort of didn't really get much in the way of drinking over the weekend, being on the bar. So I have a Monday and Tuesday on the beers. Generally not on a Wednesday. Might do a stream Wednesday, not sure. If I get the chance, depending on what we do up the brewery, I might do a stream on Thursday to have some more beers pre-football. You've been off the booze since Thursday. Fair play. I admire the willpower. Sometimes I can, but generally I have one or two, but not every day. Sometimes I do like to have a day off. Wednesday usually my day off, mainly because we tend to brew on a Wednesday, so it's a long day, and might have one after the event. Generally, we'll have a swift half once the transfer's on, and a few games of Toads or Skittles in the tap space. But yeah, it's good to have a couple of days off here and there, or more. You know what I mean? I won't mug anybody off for not having a beer now and again. Do you know what I mean? Or talk if you don't want to. As life really threw me a curveball, life is loving me at the moment, so I don't need to drink. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't use beer for that. I use beer because it's all about the beer. So, although I did start the show saying today's been a bit shit, so I really kind of needed a beer. I didn't. I could have managed. I'd have been all right with a cup of tea and some YouTube, but I'd put the stream up, so I thought I'd go for it. Simo saw Vault City doing a Fallout inspired Imperial Sour for Halloween. Have to say I'm not mad keen on sour beers. Well, generally I used to say that, but Vault City again, prolific output to such extent I've sort of stopped, not noticing, but stopped looking too intently at their beers because, another apple crumble sour or bilberry, dingleberry, dangleberry, fucking whatever juice that they put out. Generally, they're pretty good. I've got a couple still in to do. Oh no, I tell you what, it was on Saturday. Yeah, no, that 11% was Friday, I think. No, Saturday was the gingerbread stout, which I think was 10% from Vault City. Cheers, every year, no worries. Yeah, the gingerbread stout, that little thin can, nice enough. Didn't get a lot of gingerbread out of it. Didn't bother to post a review or anything like that. Went down easily enough, and like I say, went to bed shortly after. Right, let's bang this one down. It's been quite nice. Quite enjoyed it. Some good flavours and not too much grapefruit. Nice lacing on the glass. Excellent head retention. Nice bit of tropicality, haziness, and kind of oaty, wheaty body going on with the Superdelic hop. I think it's a good feature of Superdelic. I haven't got much to judge it against. I don't think I've had anything with Superdelic in before. Things with Superdelic tend to get highlighted. I think it's a fairly new hop, so it's kind of getting it out there. But yeah, I don't know how much hop they're using it, but a good look at a single hopped beer. New Zealand tropicality to it. Let's get this down. Cheers. Yeah, definitely a bit of kind of pepperiness, little sparkle of kind of white pepper and anything else, but Bear with me just a second, once again. Don't know what it is. I'm going to clear out the nose early and all of a sudden it starts blocking up again. But because I've lost my beer number 2 cards, I could play them, but I don't know where they are. They're down there somewhere. Let's go straight on to beer number 2, please. And more scary faces on the can. It's very scary looking. Nominally scary because it's only artwork on a can, but scary looking can. Rabbit on the can. Or was it a hare? Pulling a skeleton out of the hat. Another brewery that does quite a lot of nominally scary artwork on cans. Featured them several times before because I keep seeing to picking up their beers and don't always pick them up anywhere else. And I've had a couple of orders out of them, so I've had quite a lot of their beers earlier in the year with another disco beer. They've got 2 disco beers out at the moment. One I did at least pick up from Trembling Madness, and then one I sort of couldn't wait for. I messaged Trembling Madness saying you're getting it, and they weren't sure. So I ordered a small box direct from Dark Revolution, and then the following day after I got it, or the following Friday, Trembling Madness put it on their website, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit annoying, but you know, it happens. I even messaged them to say, "Are you doing it?" and they weren't sure. So I should have waited. Maybe I would have got a load of other stuff that I want. Anyway, I've got a bunch of other beers. This one's called New Tricks, and it is a 4.3% modern bitter, not a best bitter, a modern bitter. So I'm probably going to put this in the wrong glass, but hey ho. Let's see what Dark Revolution's interpretation of a modern bitter is. They currently have 2 modern bitters on their website. Well, it starts off looking a fairly light, more of an amber ale there. Let's see if I can do the can balance on this one. I think I've left enough. Again, a bit difficult to photograph because the images is to the side. Oh, yeah, baby. And then the writing's in a vertical font, which kind of annoys me. But the beer looks good. I say quite light, kind of amberish ale, but nice head development. Quite a bubbly head, frothy. But the shiny on the cans. It's not great to photograph. See if I've got that. No, I think I can do better. See if I can put that there. Maybe give that a bit of shade. Not really. I see I do that can balance rubbish. It doesn't really come out in the photograph quite so well. But yeah, not the camera. Brilliant. So you probably saw none of that, did you? Right, there you go. That before I sit down so I don't knock it. I'll tell you what, I'm so surprised I've not knocked any of those over so far. Doing the old canny balance thing. It amuses me. These things amuse me. But yeah, fairly light going into it. Plenty of carbonation racing up the glass. I say kind of ambery best bit. It looks a bit darker that side of the camera. Great head retention, development and retention looks all right. Let's have a little slurp, get that tropical out. I'm intrigued by this modern bitter kind of thing. No idea what modern bitter is these days, but a lot of craft breweries are giving bitters a go. That's included. So yeah, New Tricks, 4.3% modern bitter. Let's have a sniff. Yeah, solid bitter note. It's kind of slightly darker malts going on, a little bit of breadiness. I want to say not sponge cake, like Madeira cake or something like that. It's got that kind of slight sweet malt, kind of cakey breadiness. Yeah, solid. Cheers. All right, ever so slightly. What I was slightly worried about, when they say modern bitter, they've gone and put some kind of modern or New World hops in it. Bear me a sec. Oh, for fuck's sake. So there's a slight tang to it. I love a good bitter. Yeah, I love a good bitter. I often struggle with bitters, to be fair. People will be very surprised that I'm less into best bitters, because best bitters often aren't best. Amber stuff like this, not so bad. I generally prefer a decent pale ale, even a hazy pale ale. Despite the fact I come from a fairly traditional beer background, pints of brown ale kind of stuff. But yeah, so I'm never sure about bitter. I'm always a bit suspicious and a bit wary that they're just not necessarily best. Also, like I say, a bit suspicious of modern bitter, because I think they're going to chuck a load of New World hops out of it, and it's going to be that kind of grapefruity IPA kind of bitter that, yeah, fed up with saying about. This one, yeah, it's got a slight earthy tang to it, but not full earthy grapefruit. There's a slight note to it there. Yeah, say medium kind of bready malt, slightly cakey malt going on. So it's more of an amber than a really dark brown bitter. Couldn't tell you what the hops are. I've definitely not looked, by the way. It's on the back of the can here, so but it's not good enough. But no, I haven't looked. I just picked it because, well, I thought I'd try both of their modern bitters, to be fair, see what they got. I was worried that there'll be something like Citra or something in it, which doesn't work in a beer for me, in a bitter for me. Obviously, I had a bunch of hazies that do, but let's dive straight in and have a look. Because I'm really not sure about this one. Like I say, that bready malt note, that malt base is okay. It's quite sweet, which is good for me, because the sweetness kind of rounds out anything else going on. Well, there we go. What the hell do I know? Right, new trick, small batch series. Biscuit, blueberry, and mango. I don't think so. I'm not having that. Really, maybe. Let's have another look now. Now they've told me what it is. I wouldn't have picked any of that. Biscuity, fair enough. That's what I'm saying about that kind of cakey malt. Right, hops. Cold side, Citra and Mosaic, would you believe? Hot side, Idaho 7. So yes, a very thoroughly modern bitter, but thankfully not too bitter. Best before 0226, say, because I only bought it week before last week, something like that. So yeah, where's Mersey Beers when you need him to take the mickey out of me for finding a Citra-based beer by not even looking at it? I'm kind of intrigued. Cold side Citra, I think, is where that normally you find that grapefruity kind of note that I don't like. So I'm intrigued that it's in here, but it's not soundly grapefruity. But Idaho 7, I still don't know a lot about. So it doesn't matter whether it's on the cold or hot side to me. If anybody's confused, I suddenly know about the term whole cold side and hot side. Apart from all the regulars who know I work at a brewery, hot side is when you're boiling the water, put it in on the boil or after the boil, and then the cold side is once you've chilled it down and put it into the fermenter to add the yeast and ferment it, and then you'll be dry hopping with, as I said, Citra and Mosaic on this one. Mosaic is that's where you get the kind of blueberry, I think, going on. Yeah, I'd love it if it was actually blueberry and mango, but I often don't really get those as a kind of, rarely get those as a flavour unless it's an adjunct. I love a good blueberry beer, don't get me wrong. I love a good mango beer, but I'd rather it come from actual fruit than the hops, because you get that kind of slightly bitter kind of grapefruity mango and blueberry. So I'm not really sure about that here. I'm not sure about blueberry and mango biscuit. The biscuity malts kind of more darker fruits for me. Blueberry and mango, wanting a pale ale. Yeah, there's a slight earthiness to that back end. It's not terrible. Again, it's a pretty good beer in the glass. Minimal lacing, but that head retention is keeping there, and it looks like a kind of old school amber ale kind of bitter. So it's got good flavour notes. I'm just not overawed by it, but it's a perfectly drinkable beer, and it is. I mean, modern bitter is exactly what it says. You know, with those kind of new world hops in there. I know, you British bitters, you're looking at Fuggles and Goldings and what else? Eureka and all sorts of not Eureka. What's that? I mean, begins with E. Yeah, you're kind of British bitters, your British hops, but then you get your American bitters, I suppose, as well. Yeah, that sweetness kind of goes a bit fruit sweetness after the end of it. Now I've said it. Blueberry, I suppose if I think really hard, I can get a bit of blueberry. That kind of slightly fruity sweetness, a little bit of malt loaf in there, you know, a little bit of saurine. It's not a bad thing. It's quite light. So 4.3%. It feels lower. It feels like under 4, because it's not thin, but it's quite a light-bodied beer. In the middle, that malt sweetness and thickness on the outer edges carries it. It's not watery thin, but it's definitely medium thinness. Like I say, compared to the last one where there was the oats in it that gave it that kind of slight voluptuousness. This one's a little bit thinner. Still, I suppose there is plenty of cakey, biscuity malt flavour in there. As I say, this is another brewery that I've looked at their website quite a lot, and there's a lot of beers on there. Some of them, I say, even the ones I've bought, I probably wouldn't have bothered if not for the fact they're called disco in them, because in New England IPAs or whatever, but I bought this one because it was something different. You know, I don't see that many craft breweries doing bitters, but they have one or two now and again, so it's worth a look. I like the name of the other one, and yeah, New Tricks, and yeah, I put them on there today because of the faces. Kind of goes in with the theme. The purple is only the fact that the name's in purple. That's a little bit tenuous, but yeah. Keep nudging that camera. But yeah, if you like your bitters, it's one that's worth a look. If you see it, it's worth maybe picking up. So I'm taking big mouthfuls. I'm not wincing. So there's a good balance of flavours in there. There is that. And I'm pleased it doesn't go full kind of earthy, pithy grapefruit that I just don't really like. It's restrained in that respect. Maybe because of the low ABV, or maybe it's because of the low amount of hops. I found it to be a mixed bag. Some okay, some not. Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying, really. There's sort of like another brewery that's put quite a lot out, certainly recently, and all seem not much the same, but yeah, some hoppy stuff, you know. But yeah, the artwork's pretty mad, pretty hard to photograph. Most of them are black cans with that kind of, well, the black cans with a black label and a silver artwork, which is annoyingly difficult to photograph in the light, just on a regular phone. Despite being a photographer of sorts, I'm only doing these on the phone, so it's difficult to get that lighting right. But yeah, there's a little bit more fruit coming through now. Feels like a bit of peach as well, kind of thing going on. Still not sure about blueberry. I think it's only psychosomatic because I've seen the word blueberry now. Local bars of Dark Revolution, Disco. Which one? There's two they've got out of It's Disco Loco and what was the other one? I got a few weeks back. I think Disco Loco is the current one, and the other one I've got is Disco. Picked it up from Trembling. It's still on Trembling, and I looked at it this afternoon. I still can't remember. There it is. Only picked it up. I picked it up in August, so quite a long early. Oh yeah, Very Disco. Can I forget that because all our beers thing are called Very. Yeah, so it's the latest one. It's Disco Loco. Well, I've got to try. I've got 4 disco beers in at the moment. I did say I was going to get to 3 and do them all together rather than waiting for the regular 5. So I'll do them all together. I'm going to try and do that at the beginning of next month. I normally wait till Christmas, but I don't want to wait for any more beers. I'm just going to try and get them out of the way because I never get the videos done for them either. I'm 3 disco day videos behind. I'm going to put them out. Not that anybody will notice or make any difference. I'll just because the one I'm stuck on, Disco Day 8, I've got to get more footage for because I completely messed it up. There's so many mistakes in that, and every time I look at it, I just get so like it's like we were talking about earlier. Like, should I bother? And I will bother with the Disco Day beers because I want to get that record out and remember them in years to come. Whereas all the other videos I've started doing and have just cut and cancelled and not bothered. I'm less bothered about those ones. I was really annoyed. I lost a video the other day because the internet collapsed. But it was that Aldi beer or Lidl beer that everybody slated, that German one. So I was less bothered about losing that. Yeah, so Disco Loco is the current one. So Very Disco was back in August. August seems only like last week. It's gone so quickly this summer, and every week is just racing through. And then I'm back on the bar, serving away, enjoying the day. Really enjoy serving. Chat to customers on the bar, but it does go so quick. And up at that place, it feels like it's got its own time zone. I looked up the other day, and all of a sudden it's 4 o'clock, and the pizza shop's closed, and I'm not getting any lunch. But yeah, it's still good fun. Bunch of decent customers up there, and some good beers, so it's all good fun. But yeah, it's just gone so quick, and I'm so far behind with all the beers. There's a ghost there. Is that me or is that a ghost or a face? Can you see the face? Or is it a map of some random country? But yeah, there's definitely 2 eyes there. I should do that. All goes out of focus. Right. Well, there's a good mouthful there. And again, like I say, decent beer, very good quality. Still fairly fresh, I guess. What did I say best before was? Oh yeah, February of next year. So well in date, fairly fresh still. And it shows minimal lacing, but a decent head retention on there. Let's get this down before my nose blocks up and get on to the 3rd one. And yeah, I've been away for nearly an hour again. And I didn't think I had a lot to say at the start of it when I pressed live. Anyway, that was Dark Revolution Brewery's New Tricks, 4.3% modern bitter. Decent enough beer, to be fair. I kind of, yeah, got through it without too much. Quite a nice beer. Cheers. Yeah, there's a little bit of blueberry maybe. Okay, on to beer number 3, and what I'm going to say is the main event because it's one I've been looking forward to most, probably because it's more my thing and a little bit different as well. So beer number 3 is the equally hard to photograph and slightly annoying can frontage, being that it goes round the edge. It looks good on their website when they stretch the can wrap out, but just in the front, it's hard to read. But it is indeed Holy Goat Brewing up in Dundee, and it is there. 5.8% date porter. Still no name on this one as far as I can see, unless I've misread that as well. But let's get this out into a glass. You know, porter's going to be my kind of thing, especially with some kind of dark fruit addition to it. I haven't had much from Holy Goat. There's another one that's got a fair bit on their website. I did look at Dark Revolution because we've seen them several times before on the previous shows. So yeah, a date porter, you know, like a plum porter. Plums, dates, all kind of the same thing. So pours out some medium density into the glass. It's a little bit thin on the edges, but nice and dark in the glass. Which way are we going to do this? See if we can do this. If I pour too much, I think. I should know by now exactly where to pour it to. When you've got it on the angle. Yep, there we go. Stay. stay. I think let's put that down because there's going to be a bit of reflection. But yeah, Holy Goat Brewing up in Dundee. Don't know too much about them, but I've seen a few of their beers around, and they'll often do something a bit unusual, a bit mad like this maybe. I think they've got a plum porter as well. I know they've got damson porter. Oh, that's terrible. Right, let's move that up there away from the light. Put that side to protect. There you go. Send them a Coles glass because it's the closest to Scotland I could get. I haven't really got any Scottish glasses, I don't think. Waiting for the focus. Focus is not working. I'll do. I don't want to be here too long photographing it, but see, the pint is really in focus. I'm going to actually not do that. Take off the filter. Here you go. That's much better. That's where you don't need. It's not much different. It'll do. It'll do. Looks good. That back up. As always, Mr. Wilson, thank you for the reminder. I managed to listen to you for that time. So, nice little bit of head development, although it's dissipating slightly. Feels like there's a little bit of fizz to it. Again, lovely can art, apart from kind of the darkness and that odd wraparound. But it should go in there, in that bit. I want it in there so I can photograph it straight. But yeah, nice dark, slightly mysterious. Bit tenuous for the face with the goat skeleton. But there you go. It's there or thereabouts. So the head dissipating is a bit disappointing, which makes me think it's going to be a bit thinner than I kind of want it. But anyway, let's have a little sniff. No, let's clear the nose first and then have a little sniff. Fireworks are still going off, although it's slightly less loud than it was at the start of the stream. A little bit worried about Kitsko, the old cat that occasionally pops in to say hello. She's not normally that bothered. She's a tough street cat, but fireworks, you never know. Can scare a cat sometimes, so I've left the door open. She might just dash in at some point. So watch out for that appearance. Over my left shoulder. But yeah, either my block nose or there's not too much on the aroma. There's a sort of faint dark fruit, slightly kind of chocolate biscuit note going on. Doesn't smell bad though. Smells all right. I say that head retention might stay there actually at that, so it doesn't look too bad. Little patches appearing in the middle at the top there though, but easily revived. So yeah, a date porter. Focus. Come on, focus. Yeah, there we go. Right, yeah, so totally my kind of thing. Let's get this down. Let's do this first. That kind of malty bittering this out. Yeah, cheers, date porter. Oh wow. There's some sticky treacle going on there. It's a fair amount of spirit. It's like it's almost like a barrel-aged edge right from the off, but it's not brandy. It's not whiskey or bourbon or anything like that. But there's a spirity edge to it. Oh, I know what it is. It's like, what's that plum spirit? The Czechs have one called Slivovich. In fact, a lot of the Eastern Europeans have a version of Slivovich. plum. It's not plum brandy. It's a plum spirit, and it's got a very heavy kind of spirity edge, a very heavy kind of. What I would say about whiskey, I joke it's like Domestos. I've never drunk Domestos, so I don't know what it is, but it's got that slightly harsh edge, but it's rounded in this beer. There is that kind of slightly Slivovich harsh, which is like a plum. It's like a dark plum vodka kind of thing going on, and that's replicated here, but it's got that edge to it, which is not a bad thing, by the way, because it feels slightly stronger than it is at 5.8. It's dates. There's a little bit of fig there as well. Like there's some fig roll going on. You know, I wouldn't mind a little fig roll with this. Kind of not quite dessert in a glass. A shockingly low ABV. Yeah, I haven't seen them too much. I'll have a look at the website in a minute. I know they've got some big heavy stuff going on, but it feels a lot more than 5.8, really. It's knocking 7s or 8s, like I say, even more with that slightly spirity, not quite barrel aged, but definitely spirity edge to it. Like I say, there's some sticky date, slightly treacly stuff going on. Molasses, maybe. It's all right, though. Less my kind of thing than I was expecting for a porter. Porters for me are all about kind of, I always say bourbon biscuits. It's got a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of biscuitiness going on. I say this is very much more fig roll. The dates take it into a different kind of area, which is, again, not a bad thing. It's pretty good. Lots of kind of must have had a usually overrated in the 11s. Really, wow! I didn't realize it was that much. Like I say, I'm fairly certain it's the first Holy Goat I've reviewed. I don't remember another one. I've got one in the cupboard, something goat, but I don't think it's Holy Goat because it was off of Beer 52. But I've seen them knocking around, and it's always intrigued me, but not ever quite enough to do an order. I think I got this one basically was a make weight off of. I'm sure it was Trembling Madness, and I'm like, I might as well just get them. And I had a couple of others on there, and I thought, well, this one is kind of my thing, so I'll try it. I know they've got a Damson Porter out as well. And on first go, if this is the lowest of the ABVs, some of that bigger stuff, I know they've got a lot of bottles as well. Let's test that theory. That's nice. That's nice. I'm getting into it more. Initially quite harsh on the spirit, and I say that it develops into kind of fig rolls, kind of maltiness, and a slight spirity edge. Let's have a quick look, because I briefly looked on the website when I set it up. So again, they're all about this kind of, it says there, Hail the Goat is a Dundee-based brewery specialising in the production of mixed fermentations and wood-aged beers. Cool. We have an unconventional approach to yeast and fermentation, opting for a proprietary method that utilises Brettanomyces yeast for long maturation times, 3 to 4 months. That's not a good business plan, but to produce unique, complex, full-flavoured sour beer. This is not a sour beer by any means. It hasn't even got that kind of tart fruitiness going on. Mixed fermentation refers to the use of unconventional yeast and bacteria in brewing, which allows production of beers with unique character. Mixed fermentation always makes me think of wild fermentation, so like open fermentation, but yeah, so I'm not sure about that one, but fair play if that's what they do. We are driven by experimentation, obsessed with the awesome flavors that can be achieved from mixed culture fermentation. Inspired by tradition, we also seek to pay homage to our brewing forebears, mixing old and new techniques with the highest quality ingredients to produce complex, interesting, and most importantly, tasty beer. Fair play. The brewery's name references the tongue-in-cheek description of the goat-like qualities of wild yeast characteristics. So Brettanomyces, I don't always think is wild yeast. I think it's just as like a sour beer, but I guess there is a bit of that in wild yeast anyway. So again, that's my lack of brewing knowledge, brewing knowledge rather. So yeah, all about some wild yeast and some funkiness, I suppose. Let's have a look in the shop. See what else there is. So yeah, do a mixture of bottles and cans. I think all the sour stuff. See now, yeah, this annoys me slightly. Great website, it looks good. There's a lot of space around there, around that bit where you could just tell me without having to click on it what it is I'm looking at. Golden sour with Morello cherries. Fair play. Yeah, I'm all up for that. See, 5.7. It's not all about the high ABV beers. Super Scooper, what a great name. 5.2. Hazy Pale Ale. So they do some regular stuff. But you just know some of these bottles are going to be massive. Right, so there's the Damson Porter. Damson Date. Sure, they must do a plum one. That's 5.4. I might try that at some point if I can see it around. Double Mangonaut. There's your big stuff. 8.4%. Golden Sour Ale with mango. And that's a 375. So they do like conventional bottle sizes as well. I'm never sure about bottles. Bottles are the more traditional kind of stuff, but it kind of, again, really difficult to photograph because you get a lot of reflections going on. What's that one? 5% Framboise with Scottish raspberries. I do like a bit of raspberry. Doesn't always have to be sour. Goose Gog. That's got to be a... Is that a Roald Dahl reference? Red gooseberries. Wow, 6%. Spice bush berries. What the fuck are they? Okay, so maybe an American brewery in Illinois. Scratch Brewery. What are spice bush berries? I thought it's an American thing from the woods around Scratch Bush Brewing. Fair play. I would probably try that just for its randomness, I think. Endless Flight, West Coast IPA, 6.2. So I wonder if all of these are kind of Brettanomyces with this kind of wild yeast going on. I'm not going to look at all of them. Right, this is the one I'm interested in, actually. I should get that. I saw that about a while back. Brewed in collaboration with Apocal Brewery. Now, Apocal Brewery, I've got some Apocal and I've still not... It's one of the ones I tried to do this afternoon. And as a sad heads up, I believe Apocal Brewery have given up and gone under because they've not had anything on their website at all since I got the beers in, and they've not had any kind of social media going on. I think they've... alas, but they did a lot. They've last gone under, but they had a lot of beers. They basically do beers brewed in the wood, so wood and barreled beers. And I spoke about them a while back. I was chatting to Rob about it. They have part of the Burton Union system. So yeah, that's why I should have a look at that. There's the Date Porter. God, I see smoked rye stout. Nice, 7.4. Where are you? Sorry, bear with us. Right, yeah, most of it usually over 8, usually in the 11s. So I do have a lot of stuff on, so I tend to be a bit lower checking. Yeah, right, so where have we got? Right, so Holy Gate, these are the people behind Holy Gate, which is quite funny because he's wearing a pilot beanie hat in the thing. Graham Duff, Johnny Horn and James Scanlon. Here we go. So, right, Johnny Horn, co-founder. And I've since worked at Hanging Back, 71 Brewing, and Vault City, which I co-founded in 2018. Just casually mentioned co-founding Vault City at the end there like that. So a lot of good pedigree there with the brewers and the owners, co-founders. Fair play. It's one I want to have a look at much more because of all the good stuff they've got on there. Especially those other porters. Well, it's a good start. Really good start from Holy Goat. See, I'll tell you what I've got in my head now. Is it Bon Jovi? Yeah, it's a Bon Jovi lick. Holy Ghost is, which always sounded to me like, I believe the Holy Goat is. And I can't remember the song, and that's why I don't sing. If you know that song from those various of lyrics from Bon Jovi, if you're a Bon Jovi fan, let me know in the comments. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Oh, what is it? It's one of my favourite songs, I think. Anyway, what do I know? I know nothing, all, don't I? Yeah, that's a really nice. Now, the more I think about it, it's a really nice porter, but I can see what they're talking about a slight funk to it. It's like Wild G's character, because it's not like a regular porter. Like I say, it's not got that kind of bourbon biscuity kind of chocolate and coffee. There is that much more about the kind of fruit. It's not quite tart, but like I say, it's that kind of treacle molasses kind of edge to it, with and amongst that kind of like plum spirit, kind of dark fruit spirit to it. Fabulous beer. Like I say, yeah, look at the alcohol legs on that. Look at the conditioning on that beer. It goes down there. A little bit of dark chocolate coming through now. Sort of like, that kind of green and black kind of dark bit of chocolate going on. Nice. Very increasingly smashable. The more that dark fruit spirit kind of bounces off that dark chocolate, I can get that kind of Brettanomyces funk going on. I think well balanced, nicely balanced across all those kind of flavors. Yeah, I want to try the other ones in this series now. I want to have a look more at Holy Goat. Really. I mean, dates are a Christmas thing, aren't they? And very rarely do I have dates compared to, say, plums or whatever. Let's have a look. Best before. Whoa! Best before February 2027. Where's Shark when you need him? 3 beers, all in date, very much in date, which I know is rare for me. Not much more information, nothing else really needs to be said. Some government warning about alcohol. It's too late for that now, telling me now. That might be a Scottish thing, to be fair. They might have to do that. Yeah, not too much else on the can. All the information's on the website, so really kind of enjoyed that one. I've kind of enjoyed all three. All 3 beers haven't been too way out. They've been nicely balanced. They've had that kind of... They've worked well together. They've gone up the scale. I like to go up the scale. Something light or fruity, something pale. I've moved up with a rare best bitter in there, or an amber bitter, really, amber ale, and then something dark. Normally would want to finish on a stout, but this kind of covers the stout. Do you know what I mean? It's got all those flavors. It's got that kind of nice. It's a slight roasty notes, it's like black malt note going on. It's one. Some of those dark fruits, dates and port and plums and stuff, can have that kind of odd bittery note. This has kind of got that, but it's restrained by slight chocolate kind of outer edge. Say fig rolls. Really nice beer. I can smash it, but also I can sit and savour it, and I think it will stay. It will keep. There's some alcohol legs on that going down, with the head retention is great. Um, yeah, that spirit edge. That's like it's like a barrel aged. It's like a barrel aged stout. Some barrel aged stouts, but slightly thinner. Um, really good flavours. Really like that. Um, yeah, all of them do. I think. But yeah, the date porter and the damson porter. I'm sure they do a plum porter. I'm sure I've seen it as well. That'll be a hell of a range to go through, wouldn't it? All three. Um, but yeah, there you go. That's. I'm slightly surprised actually. I've got nothing bad to say about any of these beers. Um, I'm more negative on some of the can art than the actual beers themselves. They've all sat really nicely, really balanced. Got some good flavors. Even the Superdelic, which is non-adjuncted any more than the bitter is, to be fair. But yeah, some really nice notes. Something to find in all of them. Surprisingly, something to talk about in all of them. A jolly decent little set of beers for a hastily cobbled together. Ones that probably shouldn't have gone in this set, but it is. Yeah, I'm going to sit back and enjoy the rest of this one. I'm going to leave you to your Monday night now and go and sit and think about that, and hopefully try and get the Instagram notes written up if I can. Not sure whether I'll do a stream tomorrow. Probably won't Wednesday because I think I'm brewing, and so I'm going to try and do one for Thursday. Let us know in the comments below if you're watching this after the event. And if you are, thank you very much indeed. What you think about all these beers, or beers in general. I don't get a lot of comments, but I do enjoy them when I do. Thanks as always to everybody who's popped in, Mr. Wilson as ever, for the reminders and the drink along, Simo and Beardy Beer Reviews. Yeah, look out for some more beers. Do drop a like because it's free, and so a comment. It kind of helps the channel. And if you're watching this after the event, thanks for coming in. Talking of which, he always does this. Hi, Mark. Greetings. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I'm going off now. I'm sorry. I've done 3 beers. I'm going for a wee, and I'm going to think about doing a stream on Thursday for pre-game. Thursday, the biggest derby in the country. On Thursday night. We're on Sky on Thursday night, so I'll be doing some pre-football streams, I think, if I get a chance to get out of the brewery and bosh 3 beers together. So greetings, Mark. Thanks for popping in. Don't forget, just can rewind to the start and watch. I just won't be able to interact. But yeah, late as ever. No worries. I'm done. Hello. Goodbye. Yeah, if you're popping in after the event, almost like Mark is, do drop a comment and a like below. And apart from that, until then, yeah, as always, it's all about the beer. So cheers and enjoy the beers. I'm in Disco of Just Disco Beer Review from here in front of the cans and bottles at the Disco Arms. Till next time, cheers and enjoy the beers. I say till next time, I've got to find the outro, so I'll still be here for a bit. It's got to be here somewhere. Got to scroll down a bit. There it is.